Hey everyone, so this is a deck profile for a bit of an unconventional deck. I brought this to locals yesterday and I went 2-2. One of them was a bye, so don't bring this deck to anything that you want to win, but it's a fun one to play. This is Raidenmon, a bit of a sleeper hit from BT9, who I just decided to throw a deck together, see what happened. Yeah, let's just get into the profile. So for the eggs, we have got 4 copies of Dorimon. This has the effect during your turn. Whenever an effect places a Digivolution card under this Digimon, draw 1. You can proc this quite frequently. You'll see with some of the other cards in this deck that this goes off actually pretty consistently, which is always good. So yeah, just 4 copies of that, and that's our eggs. Now for the rookies, we have got 4 copies of BT7 Dorumon. On play, you search the top 3 for an X antibody and a Coda. Never going to come up. You never want to hard play this, you always want to Digivolve into it. Because it's got the inherited during your turn. Whenever one of your effects places a Digivolution card under this Digimon, gain a member. So yeah, always good to do that and be able to keep turn. And like I said with the egg, this is quite consistent in this deck, so always nice to have in this deck. Then we've got 4 copies of EX1 Hagurumon. I just love this card. On play, you can trash a machine or cyborg to draw 2. Most of our deck is machines and cyborgs, so we'll always sort of have fodder for this, and it helps to get your pieces for Rydenmon in the trash, so good card all around. And finally, 2 copies of the new Hagurumon from BT15. On play, reveal the top 3, add a machine or cyborg to hand, and a black Tamer, and put the rest on the bottom. Not the best search, because of bottom decks, you kind of want to trash as much as possible in this deck. But it has inherited reboot, which is always good, and that seems to be quite a common effect in this deck, because somehow my stacks always seem to have reboot. For our champions, we are running 3 copies of Airdramon. On play, when Digivolving by placing a Marvin under him, you de-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. We are running Marvin in this deck, so would be a bit dumb not to run this without him, so we do have him. And inherited reboot again. Pretty good for getting a free Tamer onto the board. Can't really complain too much. And then we have got 4 copies of EX1 Guardromon. I really like this card. So it's got blocker and can attack, but the inherited is when attacking you can trash the machine or cyborg to draw 2. It's like an on-play Hagurumon, but you do it every time you attack, which gets you it more consistently every turn and really helps you to speed up your trash. So always nice to have. You kind of want to, your ideal stack is Dorimon, then him. Then for the ultimates, we have got 3 copies of Gigadramon. So on play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck and add 2 level 6 or higher cards among them to the hand and put the rest on the bottom. There's an option card which lets him play for pretty cheap and get a good search. So he's always nice to have. End of your turn, by deleting one of your Digimon, you can play a Dark Master straight from hand to breeding area. We don't run any Dark Masters in this deck, so not relevant. It is optional though, so we don't need to worry about it. And again, inherited reboot. So we have an inherited reboot at each level, which, sure, why not? And we're also running 3 copies of the new Megadramon. This card's correct. So on play and when Digivolving, you reveal the top 3, and you can place a machine, cyborg, or Sons of Chaos trait card as its bottom Digivolution card and app onto the hand. That includes Marvin. When attacking, if it has a Sons of Chaos Tamer in it, in its sources, you delete a 3-cost Digimon or Tamer, which is pretty good. Tamer removal is always pretty good. And finally, when attacking, once per turn, de-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. Yeah, can't really complain too much. All around good card. Now for the megas, and this is where things get interesting. 3 Fujinmon. Obviously we need it for the Raidenmon. So when this is in your hand, you can pay 1 memory to tuck it under a Raidenmon in play. Doesn't come up too often, but sometimes pretty handy. When Digivolving, you can trash a machine or cyborg in your hand to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. That's quite useful to go into this, trash one of the pieces you need, suspend something, swing over it. not too bad. And inherited, when attacking, suspend something with 5,000 or less, and that Digimon doesn't unsuspend during your opponent's next unsuspend phase. Then we have got 3 Raijinmon. So it's got the same hand effect. When digivolving, you may trash a machine or cyborg to give one of your opponent's Digimon minus 4,000. And inherited, when attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4,000 for the turn. This is probably my favourite of the 3, especially if you get multiples, because you can start dealing like a lot of board clear using this with Raidenmon. So probably my favourite. I'd say Fujinmon's probably my least favourite. And to round out the trio, 3 Suijinmon. Again, same hand effect. When digivolving, you can trash a card with Machine or Cyborg to bottom deck one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon, which is pretty good. And inherited, when attacking, you can return one of their level 4 or lower Digimon to the hand. So it's very good at clearing up small bodies. So if you have multiple of these, your opponent's playing like a Nubismon or something, just swing, bounce everything, de-digivolve, minus DP, suspend. It's quite a good board control if you can get multiple of these. And finally, the man himself, 4 copies of Rydenmon. So on play and when digivolving, you place 1 Raijinmon, Fujinmon, and Suijinmon from trash under him as his bottom digivolution cards, and gain a memory for each, which is pretty good. And when attacking, if the level 6 cards in its sources have 3 or more colours among them, so that would be 2 of these, he gets plus 3k when attacking, so he goes up to 15,000, which is beefy. If they have 4, i.e. you have all 3 underneath them, you de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. So you can get quite a lot of de-digivolve in this deck, which is quite good. Although, one thing you might remember there is that Raidenmon's effect is an on-play effect on a level 6. 3 Apocalymon. Yeah, this is an Apocalymon deck. I'm sorry. So, you can digivolve into this for 6. You can get it for cheap by putting Dark Masters from trash under it, but we don't have it. But the main thing is, end of your turn, by placing a level 6 or lower Digimon in its sources, you activate one of its on-play effects, and then you mill 2 cards for every level 6 under it. So what you want to do is, so you have a Raidenmon with all 3 sources under it. Digivolve into this, place a second Raidenmon, place the 3 sources under it and gain 3 more memory. And then you mill for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 cards. Which is kind of disgusting. And I felt really bad because the only person I got this combo to go off on was a new player. So that can be quite disgusting if you can get it to work. But yeah, this card's getting limited to 1 in 2 weeks' time. So don't go out and buy them, basically. If you have them, feel free to play this deck, but I wouldn't go out and buy these. Now for the Tamers, we've got 3 Analog Youth. We want cards in the trash, we play Analog Youth. So on play, reveal the top 3, add a Digimon among them to your hand, and trash the rest. So great for filling up the trash. All turns, whenever one of your level 5 or higher with sources is deleted, you can suspend him to gain a memory and hatch an egg. Obviously you're going to have a lot of sources, so you can pretty much always use this on your bigger ones. Just gain the memory back, pass it over. Then we have got 3 copies of Marvin. So he is a Mind Link Tamer. Start of your main phase, you can trash a Machine, Cyborg, or Sons of Chaos to gain a memory, which obviously we like trashing cards, so he's good to have. And you can Mind Link with a Machine, Cyborg, or Sons of Chaos, which most of our deck is. And then all turns, while it has Machine, Cyborg, or Sons of Chaos, it gets Jamming and Blocker, and you can play him out at the end of the turn. Mind Linking while you have a Dorumon in the stack also will gain you the memory from the Dorimon effect, and draw 1 for the egg. Always a nice bit of synergy. Now, I had both of these at 4 in my initial build, but I found that I kind of needed a memory setter. And I decided to drop them down to 3 each. And I was thinking what memory setter would be good, but we discard a lot of cards, so even though it's not on color, 2 starter deck map. Just whenever you discard a card, tap them to gain a memory. So if you have him out and Marvin, you go to 3. Marvin will let you discard 1 to gain a memory, go to 4. Tap Matt, go to 5. Tuck Marvin under a Doru stack, go to 6. Pretty good for only having 2 Tamers on board. And lastly, for the options, we're just running 3 Supreme Connection. This is the new option card from BT15. So you read the top 5 cards of your deck, add 1 Machine or Cyborg to the hand, and trash 1. I wish it was Machine, Cyborg, or Sons of Chaos, because I've had quite a lot of times where that would have come up. And then delay, you can play a level 5 or higher Digimon card with Machine or Cyborg from hand with a play cost reduced by 3. Usually I would use this to play Gigadramon and get the search. But Megadramon and Raidenmon aren't bad targets as well. And it's the same thing in security. You get the top 5, add 1, trash 1, put the rest on top, and then place this in the battle area. So yeah, that was my Raidenmon Apocalymon deck. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below, and thanks for watching.